Okay, in this video we're going to be taking a look at how you can assign reviewers to the submissions on Oxford Abstracts. So this can be done in a variety of ways. So let's start off in the Reviews by Reviewer table. From here we've got some options. We can assign categories to the reviewers and we can also assign submissions. So let's start off with the Assign Categories option. So these categories are taken from the category question, which you'll designate in the submission form. So these are our different categories. They're just the numbers 1, 2, and 3. So what we can do is we can select reviewers from our table by checking this box, and we'll see the reviewer's name show up here. We can also paste the reviewer's email address into this box like so. And that will also act as selecting the reviewer. We can then choose which categories or category we want to assign to that reviewer. And we can see now those reviewers have been assigned those categories. And it's the same process if we want to unassign, we do the same thing. So assigning a category to a reviewer doesn't automatically assign the submissions within that category. That comes in the next step. So now what I can do is in the Assign Submissions section, I have the option to auto-assign or manually assign. So if I want to auto-assign, you now have 3 options where you can select how you want to run the auto-assignment. So the first option is where you can essentially set the parameters, so minimum, maximum number of reviewers per submission, minimum and maximum number of submissions per reviewer. And then the system will assign, according to those rules, any submission which doesn't yet have reviewers that meet those rules. So for example, if we have a submission which would have maybe 1 review currently, then the system will try and then meet that minimum requirement and make sure at least 3 reviewers are assigned to that submission. So you can do this at the beginning when you're first doing your auto assignment or as you go along to make sure that the rules are met. The second type of assignment you can do is where you can reassign incomplete reviews. So this can be used when reviewers have not finished their reviewing, or they maybe are not intending to finish or complete the reviewing process. So here we can reassign incomplete reviews to a new reviewer. And then the third option we have is Assign Specific. So this is where it will assign the reviewers to any completed submissions, and then you select the specific reviewers that you want to assign. Here where it says category assignment exclusively match by category, this is where the system will only assign submissions which have the same category as a reviewer to those reviewers. If you leave this unchecked, the system will still try to assign submissions to reviewers with the same category, but it won't if it breaks any of the other parameters. And then we have some additional parameters. Reviewers with the same email domain as the author are a conflict of interest. So that's looking at email domains that aren't your sort of standard Gmail or Yahoo Mail email domains, so that most likely things like university email domains, if they are going to be a conflict of interest, if people are from the same university, then check this box and it will try to not assign people from the same university or institution. And we can choose to include or not include incomplete submissions. If we go to preview assignments now, we can see here, I can see for each of my submissions, I can see the category of the submission, the authors, and how many reviews are going to be assigned. And here I can see my different reviewers,
And I can choose to edit this list of reviewers as well. If I know, for example, that this top reviewer has a conflict with one of these authors, I can rotate and randomly reassign that. I can also add reviewers. I can search through my list of existing reviewers, and I can also add random. Here it's showing me that there is an issue because it's got a conflict with the domain of the email address. So I can check through all of these. I can also look at the same information but from a reviewer perspective, so I can see each of my reviewers and I can see which submissions they've been assigned to. This little triangle is just showing me the parameters don't match because I've got a minimum number of submissions per reviewer, but the system is unable to assign a submission to these reviewers without breaking a different parameter. Okay, and then when I'm happy with that, I can just hit Save Assignments. It's important to note that you can do the auto assignment multiple times, and you can override those existing assignments. With the Assign Specific, I have to choose the submissions that I want to assign, as well as the reviewers that I wish to assign them to. Let's have a look also at the manual assign. So this is where we are just selecting the submissions and reviewers manually. So here I can see my list of submissions that I'm able to assign. I can also, I can type in the submission IDs here, or I can select them from the list. And then here, same with the reviewers, I can select the reviewers from my list of reviewers, or I can just paste in a list of email addresses. And then I can just hit the Assign button here. It's very similar, the functionality for the from the Reviews by Submission table. So here you can do pretty much the same thing. We go Assign Reviewers, and then we have that same functionality for either auto assign or manually assign. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.